All right, hey, let's go ahead and create the virtual music learning center at home. I wonder if you're the parent that's asking, what do I do at home to help my child learn how to read music better virtually? What am I doing? Miss Biggins, how does that work? Let's talk about it. So, for those who don't know, my name is Mevany Biggins, and I teach children how to play musical instruments so well they earn college scholarships. As a matter of fact, come into our academy, and we'll teach children not only to read music, but they'll learn how to play their instrument and perform a home concert in less than 30 days. So, with that, there are a couple things you need for a virtual music learning center at home. First and foremost, you need a screen with some Wi-Fi. That's the first thing. The second thing you need, of course, is your instrument, whether it be your piano, whether it be your clarinet, trumpet, flute, anything that requires breath for you to play. Some additional ideas, things that you need that you don't realize you must have is, number one, a music stand. That's a huge one. You must have a music stand. Because learning to read on a table like this, that ain't the move. It's not. Here's the secret sauce: a metronome. Now you can either have a metronome that, let me show you mine. Look, this metronome here. You can have a metronome that is digital, or you can have a mechanical metronome that you kind of wind up, and you have a pendulum that goes back and forth, what have you. With that, you want to have a metronome that keeps time, because a lot of times in virtual learning, the biggest road, the biggest curve, the learning curve, is the ability for a child to keep time and understand and respect rhythm as they're playing. Now, even in-person learning, that is still a struggle for students, as learning how to play in time. That's gonna be that's a whole nother training video on that later. But in that virtual learning system, you have to have all of those things in the area. Let me talk about my band students. Now, do you have a stand, a clarinet stand, flute stand, trumpet stand, saxophone stand? I do recommend, I teach the students how to clean their instruments after each practice session, but I also encourage to have a stand to keep the instrument assembled. Of course, and I'm speaking generally, but of course, yes, you need to remove like the mouthpiece to read. You need to make sure you swab it out, take all the moisture out of the instrument before placing it in the stand or what have you. But having the instrument readily accessible so the student can pick it up, warm up, go through their warm-up sequence, go through their articulation, scales, rhythms, all that kind of good stuff before they get to their actual etude and routine. That is impactful because it also helps build, again, a ritual and routine. For example, when a child goes home and sits at the table and does their homework, it's the same thing. It's the same concept. Having a music learning center at home, a corner, a music room or a music corner where all they do is work and study towards music, that is the kind of environment you want to create for your child to be successful. Not to mention making the area free of distractions. So making sure that if they are going to be on the tablet, there's no YouTube, there's no apps they can go on. If that's going to be the app that they're going to be using for instruction, they may even have another screen. So a lot of times my students may have the iPhone, they log into Zoom. So the iPhone is when they see me. So we're able to talk face to face. So when I'm on my dual screen, I talk to them. Then they have their iPad where they shows their hands and their guide position. So that way they can see the teacher eye to eye, but then I can critique the technique and the playing of their hands while we're working into a session. So a 2-device setup is always something you can work on, but you also can just do it with just one. You can have a stand, like a boom stand, and attach your device and kind of turn it any kind of direction you want to, so you can see the face and the hands. There are plenty of different setups you can use to establish a virtual learning environment. What I do for my new parents, all my new onboarding parents, I have a guide. I have an onboarding guide, and all the parents go through that guide, and they have a complete idea of how to set up their learning area. They have a complete idea of what they need to do to make sure their child's successful learning in the Virtual Music Academy here at Music by Mevany. So if that's you are either you already have a musical learning environment set up in your home, or you are desiring to set up the right musical learning environment and you want the right instructor, the right program to enroll your child into, go ahead and download our Master Music Roadmap, and also schedule a music discovery session so we can actually do a deep dive into the goals that you have for your family musically and how we can best be of best service to you and your family in getting them to be the best musicians that they can be. I'll talk to you soon.